Hello, this is the Bible in Fewer Words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 1B, Genesis chapter 3. Of all the beasts that God made, the serpent was the most clever. He said to the woman, "Did God say you shouldn't eat from every tree in the garden?"
The woman answered, "We may eat the fruit of all the trees in the garden, except for the tree in the middle of the garden. God said, don't eat from it or touch it, or you will die."
The serpent said, "You won't die. God knows that when you eat from that tree, you will be like gods, knowing good and evil."
When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, was nice looking, and would make her wise, she picked and ate its fruit. She gave some to her husband, and he ate it too.
After eating the fruit, they knew they were naked, so they sewed some fig leaves together for aprons. Later, in the cool of the day, they heard the voice of God, who was walking in the garden. So God's walking and talking to himself?
I guess so.
So they hid in the trees. God said, "Where are you?"
Adam answered, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, so I hid myself." If I were him, I'd be afraid because he's talking to himself.
Yes. God, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm over here. So God, talks to himself and can't see them.
Yeah.
Doesn't know where they are, I guess. So God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I told you not to eat from?"
The man said, "The woman you gave me, she gave me the fruit, and I ate it."
Okay, what a cop-out, that Adam. So God said to the woman, "What have you done?"
The woman said, "The serpent fooled me, and I ate."
So she's, honest and is willing to...
But kind of blaming it on the serpent.
Yes, she is, actually.
Everybody's blaming somebody else.
God said to the serpent, "You are cursed more than all animals. From now on, you'll have to crawl on your belly and eat dust. You and the woman will be enemies, as will your seed and hers. Her seed will bruise your head, and you will bruise her seed's heel." Okay, I'm going to need a minute or so to figure that out.
Yeah, that's a tough one. There's a bunch of things that are kind of strange here. First of all, the serpent. It's always just called a serpent. It's not called a snake.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, whatever it was, it used to, I guess, walk on all fours, because now it's going to have to go on its belly. So it must have been a or else maybe it was a snake that used to hop around on its tail like a pogo stick or something.
Could be.
But anyway, we got that problem with the serpent. And then we got this thing about they're going to be enemies. The serpent's going to bruise her seed's heel.
Yes.
And her seed's going to bruise his head.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's
All
on
right.
first? Then he said to the woman, "I will multiply your sorrow and make you suffer in childbirth. You will desire your husband, and he will rule over you."
Yeah, fair enough.
So, suffer in childbirth, it's a pretty big job delivering babies, probably.
Yeah, that's a lot. And so the pains of childbirth are a punishment because of what
Because she ate the apple.
Ate from, we don't know about apple.
Oh,
but she
you're right.
ate from the fruit of the tree of
The knowledge of
good and evil. There was such a tree. I would eat from that tree. I want to know what's the difference between good and evil, and why would that be a bad thing, to know the difference between good and evil? Don't have the tree if you don't want people to know.
Yeah.
Why don't you want people to know? It's messed up in many different ways. And then to Adam, he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate from the tree, I will curse the ground and make thorns and thistles grow and force you to eat it all your life." So because he listened to his wife. So I guess for a man to listen to his wife, that's a bad thing.
It sounds like
it really gets God angry. Anyway, that's God's going to punish him. From now on, I guess he's going to have to eat thorns and thistles. And that's all that the ground's going to produce. It's not going to produce good crops or anything.
Have you had your thistles today?
Yeah, that didn't come true, did it?
No.
Yeah. We'll leave it for somebody else to make some sense out of.
Okay. Adam named his wife Eve because she was the mother of all the living.
God made skin coats for Adam and Eve. So the first clothes on earth, apparently, was made by God. And then God said, the man has become like us, knowing good from evil. We must not let him eat from the tree of life, or he will live forever.
There it is. That's why they can't eat from that tree. But why did he
sure.
put that tree there?
I don't know. And it's also interesting that when he's talking to himself, he's talking to several of himself.
Yes, us.
Yeah, the man has become like us. And remember before, God was both male and female, or seemed to be. So maybe there's some men and women or whatever, male and females.
And they're reproducing, maybe.
There's a community of gods, apparently, and he's talking to the group up there. Hey, he's become like us.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do?
Watch out.
Yeah. The reason he's like them is because he has eaten from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So he knows stuff about what's good and bad. And so he's going to find that other tree, and he's going to eat that, and he's going to live forever. We got to do something. So that's what God was saying to themselves.
So God expelled Adam from the Garden of Eden and installed cherubim with flaming swords to guard access to the tree of life. Oh, so it's not by the gates. It's by the tree of life.
Wherever that entrance is, God put cherubim there with some flaming swords to keep them from ever coming back and eating from that tree and living forever, the tree of life. Although God said that they would die if they ate. The day that they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they ate for that tree. And we'll see later that they live quite a long time.
Yes,
afterwards.
they do. So God is also fibbing.
Untrue. Yeah, actually the serpent was the truthful one here. And notice that the second creation story, we didn't get into that, but it's important to realize that the story is completely different than the first creation story. And of course, that's because they were written by different people at different times and later put together into one, kind of clumsily put together into one book.
Yeah. Needed a better editor, maybe.
For sure.
Okay. Hey, thanks for talking this through with me.
Sure, it's been fun.
Yes. And thanks, listeners, for listening to the first chapter of Genesis. And we'll see you next time.
First 3 chapters of Genesis.
First 3 chapters. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.